I need you, Omen Drawn, to fight and slay the kaiju. Or as we call it upstairs, the Tarrasque.
I get it.
Tarrasque?
What?
This is a clip from the 2013 Acquisitions Incorporated live show at PAX Prime. These shows brought in crowds of people to watch writers and artists play D&D. The cast was funny, and the sessions were strategically designed to tie into upcoming Wizards of the Coast products.
The sundering is upon us, and with it comes the end of the age of upheaval.
It was a match made in heaven. But in the middle of this game, the DM, Chris Perkins, at the time the most public-facing member of the Wizards of the Coast team, and the most popular DM in any online context until about 2015, made a joke that I have been thinking about for the past 9 years.
They had a bad review of our
All right,
services.
and you land outside of town, by which time the Tarrasque has fully resurfaced.
So I don't know what a Tarrasque
Yeah, I don't either.
is.
What are you doing at this table, man?
You were there when I started playing.
You're right.
This is just a joke. It's obviously just a joke. Chris Perkins doesn't mean anything by it. He knows the Acquisitions Incorporated shows got new people into D&D. I'm not trying to cancel Chris Perkins. I'm not trying to cancel anybody for one joke they made 9 years ago. In the middle of, by the way, a very different time in D&D's history.
The sundering is upon us, and with it comes the end of the age of upheaval.
I will probably do many more videos about Chris Perkins in the future. He's great. The dude wrote the modern version of Curse of Strahd, the most popular 5e module. He rules. But this joke is something we've all heard before. And sometimes we've been on the receiving end. And it doesn't feel good. The player, Mike Krahulik, sounds a bit defensive.
You were there when I started playing.
You're right.
And yeah, it makes sense. He was kind of just called out in front of a bunch of people. Everyone there knows he's relatively new to D&D compared to the other players. But the question, what are you doing at this table, is not a cool question to ask someone. Because that is gatekeeping. It's completely unconscious and unintentional. It's meant to be good-natured ribbing, just like anything else at the table.
Someone lives near Michael.
And that's why I consider gatekeeping to be a slippery slope, because it's so easy to do completely on accident. The question that Chris asks implies that there are people who do belong in a D&D game, and people who don't. And while that might be true about specific games because of style or temperament or personal beliefs, nobody should need to present their credentials to play D&D. And yet I see it so often in every fandom I've ever been a part of or witnessed. And so often, it starts with jokes. For years, Conan O'Brien has hosted shows at Comic-Con, and every time he takes a quiz he called the Comic-Con Citizenship Test. I know it's a comedy bit. The answers are obviously silly nonsense.
What is Captain America's real name?
Mike, United States.
Again, this is not my attempt to take down Conan for teasing nerds or whatever. I like Conan O'Brien. He's great. But it's a joke about the idea that there's a way to evaluate whether or not people are real nerds. It's only funny because it's something that fandoms imply, or outright state, so often. It's only funny because it's often considered true. That's why this is not a Conan O'Brien problem or a Chris Perkins problem. They're just riffing on something that was already there. It's our problem. We need to do better. And this happens in D&D all the time. A lot of people in my comments claim that Critical Role is bad for D&D. Why? Because more people play it now? Someone literally commented complaining that Matt made a character roll for something, quote, for no reason, and said it was bad because there's no rule about that, close quote. By the way, the roll was to see if a character's PTSD would trigger. The player was on board with it. It served the characters in the narrative. Who really cares whether or not that was in the rules? I get plenty of comments in my videos where people claim that I don't know anything about D&D, or that my games must be terrible because they disagree with something that I said in one of my videos. And I want you to look at me. Look at the wall behind me. Look at the shelf of books. People have genuinely tried to argue that I know nothing about D&D. Now, I'm not trying to claim that these comments are too mean or they hurt my feelings. I'm a big boy, I'll be fine. But I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. 1, if other people feel confident claiming that this guy doesn't know anything about D&D, If they're comfortable claiming that Matt Mercer is running a bad game of D&D, how can we honestly doubt that there are plenty of non-white, non-straight, non-male, non-cisgendered, non-able-bodied players who have felt shut out from gaming spaces? How can we doubt that this fandom, or any fandom, can be unwelcoming? Whenever this topic comes forward, I will see men online leap forward claiming, I've never done that. Good, but other men have. That's what we're all trying to tell you. It might not be your fault, but it happens. And also, you may never have done it consciously. But as I claim in the title of this video, gatekeeping is a slippery slope.
What are you doing at this table, man?
Because again, let's look at the impact of Chris Perkins' joke. Look at how it made a grown man into the punchline, even for a moment. Now that man will be fine. He's on stage, he's got a microphone, the crowd loves him. Things are weighted in his favor. But the joke, in any of its forms, can only alienate. That's what it's designed to do. And here's the second question. What is the point of comments like this? I've seen so many fans claim, oh, you're a fan of this show, but you've only seen the reboot? Oh, well, you're not a real fan then. That's crap. You're a fan of something if you say you are. I have never understood people who try to claim that other people should know more about a hobby than they actually do. Nobody is born knowing anything about anything. That's why Batman movies keep showing the Wayne murder. Seriously, no, that's why. It's repetitive and annoying, yes. But for some audience members, every Batman movie is someone's first. And not just for the children either. There are adults out there who have not seen a Batman movie until whatever the most recent one is. And the people making that know that. That's why they made the movie. They want more people to see it. I have learned long ago never to ask something as dumb as, say, how have you never seen Star Wars? Everybody's different, and everybody comes to every hobby differently, and at different times in their life. There's a great XKCD comic, and I'll read this out in case you're unable to see the screen or read along. I try not to make fun of people for admitting they don't know things, because for each thing everybody knows by the time they're adults, every day there are, on average, 10,000 people in the US hearing about it for the first time. And then he shows his work. If everybody has heard about it by the time they're 30, and that in and of itself is a misconception we should try to forget, but it works fine for illustrative purposes. If everybody has heard about it by the time they're 30, and since nobody has heard of it when they were born, then he reasons based on the US birth rate, there's an average of 10,000 people learning about something for the first time on any given day. And then he says, if I make fun of people, I train them not to tell me when they have those moments, and I miss out on the fun. The example he gives is the Diet Coke and Mentos thing, but it can extend to anything. Any nerdy interest, any TV show, any web series, any tabletop role-playing game. Now, when we say, how do you not know about whatever, how have you not seen whatever, we're not trying to hurt anybody. But as Randall Munroe pointed out in that comic, when you mock someone for this, or shame them for it, or even imply that it's remarkable that they don't know something because they're somehow a weird outlier, that makes them feel alienated. It makes them not want to share those moments with you, those feelings with you. They won't tell you that they haven't been exposed to something, they just won't talk about it with you. And it can fully shut them out of the hobby. That is why gatekeeping is a slippery slope. Yes, there are obvious examples of other forms of gatekeeping. I mean, as of filming this, the most recent Twitter drama was all about two people who use their position of apparent authority and power to force people out of the hobby. But not every gatekeeper is as obvious and cruel as Satine Phoenix and Jameson Stone. And a lot of us are guilty of much smaller offenses that have equally powerful results. Because so many of us feel that our experiences must have been universal. And when somebody comes to the hobby with an open heart and you make them feel foolish or make them feel like an outsider, even as a joke, it's gatekeeping. And it sucks. And it keeps new people out of the hobby. And that's even worse. Now, it's possible you're doing that on purpose. It's possible that you really don't like it when new people come into the hobby. I know you exist. I've seen you in comments. And if that's how you feel, then try to remember this. D&D is completely opt-in. Nobody can play a game with you without you inviting them. If you don't want to play with new players, that's fine. Don't invite new players. It's your game, do whatever you want. I don't have the energy to debate you on that. But when you comment with something that discourages other people from getting into the hobby, you're not just saying that they're not right for your table. Because here, they're not at your home or in your workplace or talking to you specifically. They're in the comments for a YouTube channel about D&D. And if they see you in the comments claiming that you need some sort of experience levels or credentials before you can play D&D, or before you can share an opinion about D&D, then that's the first thing they're going to learn about our community. Which means your comments are telling them the D&D is not for them. And whether that's your intent or not, keep that crap out of my comments section. My channel is deliberately for people of any experience level. And if you want to keep people out of this hobby, you have to contend with me first, because everybody should play D&D. The new edition is getting better year by year at tackling the barriers that have been keeping people, marginalized people, out of the hobby for decades. And the community, through third-party products and the DMs Guild and actual play shows, is even better at that. And whether or not you agree with those changes, which I definitely do, they are undeniably a good thing because they make new players feel welcome. And that, ultimately, should be our goal. We should never be trying to push people out of geeky spaces, or checking their nerd resumes, or even acting surprised that somebody doesn't know the same very specific stuff that you know. We should be welcoming new people into the hobby, because one day, we'll all be gone. But if we don't push everybody else out of the hobby first, maybe it will actually outlive us. If you can't see welcoming people into D&D as an axiomatic good, I got nothing for you. Also, this is just while we're on the subject. If you use the word woke as an insult in my comments, I block you and I ban you. That's actually been my rule ever since I launched the channel, but for this video, I felt like I should let you know. If you somehow think that being woke is the problem, grow up. The world is changing, and the hobby is changing too. And we're not even asking you to change with it. Here's the thing with D&D. You could keep playing the original game if you want. Who cares? Everybody's table is different. We're asking nothing from you other than don't be a jerk. If you think things are too woke, maybe you just don't like change. Either way, if that's how you feel, save your energy, don't comment on this video. Or do, I guess, and get banned. It's your choice. It's your life, do what you want. Thank you for watching. This is an unusual video for me. I don't normally put out videos that are quite this emotionally charged, but I record these videos early, and yeah, that Satine and Jameson news really, really bothered me. And the problem is it's not just them, and it's not just that form that it takes. It happens in a lot of different ways. I wanted to make a video about all the different ways that it can manifest and say the things that I think I wish people said more often. Anyway, don't make me turn off the comments on this video. I don't want to do it. If you want to see more videos, maybe not exactly like this one, but other videos that I'm in, subscribe and ring the bell. You can also support the channel on Patreon. You can join my Discord server, which is a really cool community. And you can sign up for my newsletter and get occasional updates. The links for all of that are in the doobly-doo below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, play fair and have fun.